Hi there friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Riley. I am the owner and crocheter behind Pocket Full of Posies. And in today's video, I am going to take you through the final week of prep before my very first market. I've never done a market before. I sort of have no idea what I'm doing. I've gotten a lot of help and advice from friends, but I decided I was going to take you with me as a complete newbie to the market space and just see how it goes. So if that sounds interesting to you, grab a drink, grab a project, grab a little snack, and let's get into it. Okay, so because this week was so busy, I had a hard time remembering to film every little thing that I did while prepping for my market. So I'm just gonna throw it back to past Riley in some clips so you can kind of see what this week has looked like for me. And then I'll meet you back here when it's over. Good morning. Today is Thursday, and unfortunately, even though I had the best intentions of trying to film content throughout the week, I got totally bogged down with my 9-to-5 job and also just trying to make things for my market. I was super focused. The good news is I have a ton of items to take to my market, including a bunch of little items that I didn't have before. I have shared most of those items with you in other videos, so I'm not going to go over those today. You can check out some of my older videos to see those. But what I did want to share with you before it's all completely packed up are the makes that I either had on hand, the large makes, or things that I made for this market specifically. Last year, I wrote a pattern for Inknott the Night Dragon, which was my version of a Night Fury. So I decided that I wanted to bring at least one of those with me to my market. The ones that I already had up on Etsy have sold, so I needed to make a new one, which I did. I also have a Light Fury because I figured I might as well take them as a pair. This is Inknott. He is low sew. The only thing that gets sewn on is the head. Everything else is crocheted in place or surface crocheted. I really loved making this pattern. I love how it turned out. I think even though there are lots of adorable Night Fury patterns out there, I did my best to make this one unique, and I think I did a pretty good job. He is a nice size in Bernat blanket, so he's not overly huge. I can keep him at kind of a lower mid price point. I think I'm going to be selling him for about $50, which is what I have sold other Inkknotts for in the past. And then I also have his lovely little counterpart, the Light Fury. I did write the pattern to include a curve in the tail. For this version, I didn't do that just because I was kind of rushed for time, and that takes a little bit longer. So this one has a straight tail, but you do have the option to do a curved tail on this pattern as well. If you're interested in making one, of course, I will leave the link down below in the description. I did also manage to make some more of my emotional support chicken nuggies. This is a pattern by the Crochet Carpenter. It's super cute and works up really fast. And I love the idea of putting these in little fast food boxes, like the French fry boxes. I made my stickers for this box using my Munbin thermal printer. And I think they turned out really cute. I designed them on Canva, and it just adds a little something to the packaging. The sticker says, emotional support nuggie for when you're feeling fried. 0 calories, gluten-free, and then you can see it says Pocket Full of Posies at the bottom. So this is a cute way to display them and for people to keep them like on their desk or shelf. And you can see here's the little nuggie with this little tag. I was able to sell these at the brick and mortar store that I was in for $12, so I'm gonna keep that pricing. And I also have added these cute little emotional support pickles. This is a free pattern from It's Bee Gurumi, who was formerly Vanilla Gurumi. You can find this online. There's also, I believe, a video tutorial. I just think it's so cute, and it works up equally as fast as the chicken nugget, if not a little bit faster. I'll be selling these for $12 as well, and they also have a little container and sticker that I designed and printed. And this one says, emotional support pickle to help you deal with life. And again, zero calories, gluten-free. Another item I'm planning on taking is this beautiful water dragon by Red Mills Crochet. I pattern tested this water dragon and I think it is absolutely gorgeous. I honestly cannot remember who the eyes are by, unfortunately. It's been a while since I made this one, but I'm really excited. I'm calling this a water spirit just because it doesn't have wings, but I'm thinking it will appeal to someone. It's so cute and so sleepy, and it would sit so nicely on a shelf. So I will be bringing this one with me. I have this one listed at $70. So this will be one of my higher priced items. I will also be bringing 2 of my Bramble the Bears. This one was made in Big Twist Plush, and this one was made in Bernat Blanket. There is a huge size difference, obviously. I love how cute both of these are, and the larger one, because it was with the larger yarn and used up more materials, has the larger eyes. This one I have going for $50, and then my smaller one I have set for $35. This is again a low sew pattern. The only thing that needs to be sewn on is the head and the ears. Everything else is crocheted in place as you're making it. I also added 4 more cats to my inventory. I know I had shown you cats that I'd done previously, but I've had this pattern for a while, and so I was really excited to try these out. I know a lot of people love them. They sell well for people, so I figured I would make some, and I had some 16mm eyes that I needed to use up. So that pattern is the Loaf Kitten. So this is the smaller loaf cat by Annie Caraway Crochet. And these eyes on all of these are by 3J's Handcrafts. I got them as part of their advent calendar a couple years ago. I don't often use this size eye, but this was the perfect make to use some of these up. And I just think they're so cute. I love them so much. Here are 2 others that I made. I went for just the solid color with no color changes and just used some Bernat Mystical on these. I do have a 4th one that I can't seem to locate, so if I don't find it, I'll just pop a picture up here for you to see. But I really love how they turned out. I will be selling these for $23 each. They don't take a lot of time to make. They do use the smaller eye size, and I think that's a good price point for a market. You can let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong. Another plushie that I will be bringing is my Clover the Bunny. I love this bunny so much. Again, another low sew pattern. You can kind of tell that all of these are approximately the same size, so they are really good like mid-range market makes. Because this one doesn't have the hand-painted safety eyes, I am listing this one for $30, and so I think that will be a nice price point for people who don't have a lot to spend but want to support handmade businesses. Another super cute fantasy plushie that I'll be bringing is this adorable little mothling with a flower. This is a pattern by Red Mills Crochet that I tested. I think it is so adorable, and it definitely is giving those like fantasy vibes. I will be selling this one for $40. It involved some more sewing, obviously with the little flower and those really big, beautiful eyes. Again, I can't remember who these eyes are by. I really should start writing this down. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that this year I released a unicorn pattern. So I will be bringing some of the unicorns that I have made. I have 3 with me right now. I have a huge bag full of plushies. It's hard to like dig around quickly and find them all. So I'm just going to show you the 3 I was able to pull out. I have this pretty one in white, this super fun, vibrant yellow and blue unicorn, and then this mint unicorn, which also has some fur details. And I'll be selling each of these unicorns for $50, just because they are low sew. They actually don't take that long to make for me, and I just feel like $50 is a fair price point for these. Another super cute pattern I'm excited to bring with me is this little moth from Crafted for Comfort. I did a Luna moth version of this one. Look how cute it is. I love it so much. If you've never made one of Hege's patterns, you really need to check them out. They're adorable, and the way that she does things like these little feet is similar to her not Pokemon patterns, and so I think you really need to check it out if you haven't. This one I will be selling for $45. I've got some more fantasy creatures to share that I will be bringing with me. These are both my own pattern that I released last year. This one in particular happens to currently be my best-selling pattern, and that is Pippin the Griffin. This Pippin the Griffin was made in blanket yarn with 30mm eyes. It is low sew. You just need to sew on the head and the wings. Everything else is crocheted in place. And I will be selling this griffin for $45. Included in my Pippin the Griffin pattern, I have a mod for a hippogriff, so I'm also going to be taking my hippogriff. Because this one involves a little bit more materials and time, I am going to be selling this one for $55. It's also got that fur detail and some hand-painted eyes as well. But I just love both of these so much. I figured at this market, fantasy marks were going to do pretty well because it's mostly adults and things like that. So I thought people might want things they could add to their bookshelves or as decor. So another item that I will be bringing is this little baby mandrake. This is a free pattern by Millie from Red Mills Crochet. I was a tester for this pattern and I absolutely love it. I wish I had had time to make more, but I had a hard cutoff of no more crocheting after Wednesday, and I'm gonna stick to that just so I don't completely overwhelm myself. But I think this one will definitely find a good home. The last two items I'm gonna show you are more dragons. One of them is my own pattern and the other is from my friend Kelsey by Crochet with Kelsey. First, I'll show you my pattern, and that is Luma, the feather-tailed dragon. This pattern was inspired by Andarna in Fourth Wing, and I really, really love it so much. I'm gonna have a really hard time parting with this one because I really love it, but I wanna make sure that it finds a good home and doesn't just live in a storage bin or a storage bag. And because it's floppy, along with my other patterns, it can sit, it can stand. So hopefully this little cutie will find a good home. And then my last plushie is this big, beautiful baby made in fur. This is Flame the Fire Dragon by Crochet with Kelsey. I did mine in a green and pink theme because I was trying to make it look like the dragon from Pete's Dragon. This was the first project I did that was all fur. And surprisingly, it didn't take as long as I thought it would, just because this yarn that I use, Tro Yarn Fluffy, is super easy to work with. It's single-stranded. So if you're someone who wants to start making things in fur, I highly recommend it because I think this turned out pretty well for a first-time fur make. So those are all the items I have to show for now. In my next clip, I think I'm going to spend some time sorting out my display and where I'm going to put things. And hopefully I will remember to film that. Okay, I have decided I am gonna go ahead and tag my mini items. I wasn't sure about it at first, but the more I think about it, I really want to, because there's information on my tags that I want going home with whoever makes a purchase. So on my tags, you can see I have the information for contacting me, which is important. It's got my branding, but on the back, there's materials, there's how to take care of them, and also if they include anything like safety eyes, there is a warning to let people know that that is not intended for anyone 3 and under. So I want to make sure that I have that included even on these very small items. I made these tags using a template from Cameron's Cute Creations. I will link it in the description below. It's a free template on Canva and you can edit it to meet your needs, to match your branding, whatever it is you want to do. When I was in my brick and mortar store, I was using wax cord that I was cutting and then threading through my tags. You can see these are pre-hole punched, which is really nice, but that was kind of a pain and a long process. So I saw my friend Allie at Allie Mackenzie Crafts uses these little pre-cut cords. Hopefully you can see that, but basically you just thread this through your plushie and tag, and then these two pieces come together and secure. I don't want to do that now because I don't want to waste one, but you can get a lot of these for a reasonable amount of money. I think there's like 1,000 of them or something in this package. It's in Allie's Amazon storefront. I'll put it in mine because it is something I'm using. So right now what I'm going to work on is getting these little guys tagged. I've already written up all the tags with all the information. You can either use a crochet hook to, I do like a couple stitches like this, and then grab the cord and pull it through like this. And then I'm gonna thread my tag through, oops, like this, and close it. And there my little octo comes with this little tag. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on that now. And I think there's some other small things I want to tag. And then I'm going to have lunch because I'm hungry and it is almost 2 p.m. I'm taking my lunch break, so I'll have to do a working lunch in order to get these things done that I need to get done during the day. And hopefully, like I said earlier, if I have time, I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of my market setup. Okay, so the kids are home from school, so now I'm going to work on my market setup. I've done one run through, but I just want to do it again to make sure everything fits on what I have. I do have an extra table for me at the venue, so I will be able to use that on Saturday, but I'm gonna see how much I can fit on just what I have, and then that way that will just be overflow for maybe larger items and a checkout area. I just want to add that these awesome little stands are really good for plushies that have a hard time sitting or standing on their own. You can adjust how much width there is here, so they're really good for shelves.
Hands up for tonight again, even in another lifetime. Find me then, and let's do tonight again, even in another lifetime. Find me then.
All right, so here is the final setup. You'll see the lights make a huge difference. Like if I were to turn this off, it's much darker in these crates. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. But here are my shelves. And then here's my table. I do sort of wish I had a light there, but I think this will be fine. You can see I put the clear acrylic shelves in the crate. I have this cute little flower pedestal for the bees. Some chalkboard signs so people don't have to go rooting through things to find prices. I'm probably going to add a sign to this one as well, just to make it clear. Sleeping dragons. My office is a mess. But I love this little sticker display. I'm probably gonna move my business cards out by the checkout area. So I should, in theory, have another table kind of over here that I can use. And depending on how the other vendors are set up, this shelf may turn so the back of it is against the table and the plushies face out. I'm just not really sure how it's going to look. So here is my sign that I told you all about in a previous video. It looks okay from far away, but close up you can see that it's really hard to tell if that's a ball of yarn or not, but from far away it looks okay. I also made this sign that I have to find a place for if people want to turn any of these little tiny plushies into a keychain or bag charm. I will have the supplies to do that. I will also have this sign posted at checkout. So if people want to use Venmo or PayPal, they can. But of course, I've also got the Square card reader. They can also pay cash. And then I also made this sign that I'll have to put somewhere as well, so people can find me on all the different social media. And in case they're a crocheter themselves, they can talk to me about my patterns. Let me know down below what you think about my setup for a first timer. It's kind of crowded and I definitely have a lot of stuff, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I like that it's nice and bright, and I think I have a good mix of plushie types and sizes. All right, today is Friday, May 15th, and it is the final push before my market, which is tomorrow. I have to be at the space at 9 a.m. and I have about an hour to set up. Yesterday, when I was doing my next run through of my booth setup, I was able to set everything up in about 25 to 30 minutes. So then if you tack on unloading, walking to the space, parking my car after I get everything out at the unloading zone, I think the hour that I have to set up will be just the right amount. It may be a little tight, but that's okay. We're gonna make it work. I still need to get cash so that I can break bills for people who pay cash, and do a test transaction on Square to make sure everything is working. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, but I'll get it done. I think I'll just pretend I'm buying one of my own things. I do have a little bit more tagging to do. I realized yesterday when I was putting things out that there were some items that still didn't have tags. And like I said, even though I have some of those chalkboard signs that show prices, I want to make sure that people have all the information to get a hold of me, the warning labels, all of that on each plushie, even the tiny ones. I just think that that's the responsible thing to do. So I am going to finish tagging items. Hopefully I don't run out of tags, but we'll see. So I'm going to show you a few more things that I decided to add to my shelves and everything at the last minute. Quite frankly, because I've never done a market and I've predominantly sold online or to friends or local people, I still have a ton of plushies. This probably isn't even half of what I have, but I think it's a good start. So hopefully everything goes well tomorrow, that I enjoy doing markets and I can do more of these in the future, because I really hate the idea of all these beautiful creations that I've made just kind of sitting in my home instead of out there in the world with people who will, be able to display them and things like that. So I'm going to show you a few more things and then I'm going to wrap this up, and my next video will be all about my market recap. So I had to move my chair out of the way for this one because it is very large. This was a pattern test I did for my friend Jake from Critter Stitch Studios. This is his pattern, Archie the Articulated Dragon. Isn't it amazing? So Archie is the coolest pattern because his body is fully articulated, so you can position him anywhere you want. I'll give a little close up. So I did this Archie in a rainbow theme. This is going, and with kind of these cloud-like wings. There are so many options for this pattern, different horns, different wings, different tail pieces, and I really, really love this pattern so much. Jake did an incredible job, and I love this pattern so much. I'm not willing to let it go for any less than what I know it's worth. The amount of time it took to make all of these body segments and assemble, the amount of materials it used, and these gorgeous eyes that are hand painted. This is going to be my highest priced item in my inventory. Someone may not buy it, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm not willing to let it go for anything less than it's worth. Archie will be with me. I think he will be really good at attracting people to my booth. I think he is something people will notice, and I won't really be sad if he doesn't sell because I do love him so much. And I use him as a decoration upstairs in the spare room that we have that houses all of my yarn. So yeah, this is Archie. Jake has a similar pattern to Archie, which is his Articulated Fury, and I love that pattern as well. I also tested that, but I figured one big show-stopping piece was enough, so that one won't be coming with me on Saturday. The other item that I will be bringing that is sort of bittersweet is my Aspen, the Forest Friend. I love this pattern so much. I have held on to this guy. I have not listed him on Etsy, but I think it is time for him to find a new home. And I would like to make more of them. So we'll see what happens. His hat is removable. This is how Aspen looks without his hat on. I love that you can make him with or without a hat, with or without the horns. This is not a Loso pattern, but it is one of my favorite patterns that I wrote last year. And I think he's going to find a really great home. I think he's really cute for anybody who's into cottagecore, fantasy, things like that. I think he'd make a really great decoration on a shelf or a table. So we'll see if he gets picked up this weekend. Another item I will be bringing with me is this adorable bunny that was designed by my friend Aaron, the crochet carpenter. This is Basil the bunny, which is one of his adorable stitchkin patterns. All of Aaron's stitchkin patterns can actually be made as finger puppets. When I tested this, I opted for the plushie version. I think it's super, super cute, would make great decor in someone's home, and just absolutely adorable and a great option since it is no-sew. It's a great option for a lower priced item at my market. And then finally, there's a couple items that I wasn't able to put in my display mock-up, but because I will have an additional 5-foot table at the space, I'm thinking I will have some more room for additional plushies if I need it. I'd also like to be able to spread things out a little bit because the one table does look a little bit crammed. So I'm planning on bringing a few extra plushies that I can set out if I need to. And one of those is Woodruff the Wolf from my Fern the Fox and Woodrow the Wolf pattern. This is a low-sew pattern, and I just think because we have wolves now in Colorado, if you saw my last video, I talked a little bit about the wolf reintegration program that we have here in the state, and we have foxes and wildlife, so that's why I'm bringing things like bears and foxes and wolves with me to my market. I think they make great decoration. You're never too old to have a plushie in your home. Goodness knows I have a ton here, so hopefully these cuties will also find a home. That's it for me today. I'm really excited about tomorrow, a little bit nervous, of course. I think that's normal, but I can't wait to see how it goes. I can't wait to see all of this hard work finally pay off. And if you have any last minute advice for me, please let me know in the comments if there's anything you think I need to make sure I bring. I know I haven't talked about everything that I plan on bringing. I'm probably forgetting things. I did get a little fanny pack pouch for cash. Eventually, I'd like to get a lockbox, but they just were kind of expensive. So I want to make sure this is something I'm going to stick with before I spend that kind of money. I also got some plain brown paper bags to give to people if they would like a bag to carry their purchase in. I haven't shown off the keychain pieces that I bought, but shout out to my friend Kelly at Poggy's Place for the idea. I'm really excited to see if people opt to add on a keychain for $1 to like the smaller plushies that I'll have available. Everything I'm bringing with me to my market is listed in my Amazon storefront. I will take them down if it doesn't work out or if I end up not liking them. I try to only put things in there that I use myself and that I approve of, which is why if you saw a previous video about my logo table runner, that's not included there. I don't think they did a great job with it, but the tablecloth I'm using, the bags seem like they're good quality. I wanted to make sure I got something environmentally friendly. I don't want to be using plastic if I don't have to. I also got extra lint rollers so that I can lint roll my plushies as I'm putting them on display, and some other things that I'll make sure to add there if you want to check it out. My Amazon storefront is an affiliate link. If you're going to purchase anything, it doesn't cost you anything extra. It just means I get a little kickback, and I think we deserve a little kickback from these billionaires if we're going to be sending them some business. Anyway, thank you again for watching. Let me know if you have any tips or tricks I need to try. If you aren't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. And I'll see you in the next one where I will recap my very first market experience. Bye.